Switches off, brakes on, stick back, throttle is set. Contact. So we've got the engine started.
Okay.
It's always a good sign. You're strapped in all comfortably?
Yeah, everything's fine, thanks.
Okay. So we'll pull the chocks away, which is good, and off we'll go.
Charlie Kilo, taxi runway 24.
You'll notice we don't get a very good forward view on the ground, so we have to zigzag the aeroplane.
Golf, lining up for departure, runway
and
24.
then the other.
Okay.
And remaining in the circuit.
So I've got you down as a 60-minute Dambusters flight, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, what do you know about the Dambusters?
Well, I know they used to train over Lady Bar.
Yeah, well, it's Derwent Reservoir.
Sorry, Derwent, yeah.
Just above Lady Bar.
Yeah, yeah.
There's 3 reservoirs in the Derwent Valley. The top one is Havilland, middle
Right.
one is Derwent, which is the one they practiced on.
Yes.
And the bottom one is Lady Bar.
Yes.
They'd have flown over Lady Bar after they'd come down Derwent, because you're in the valley, you go over all of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we're going to have a look at those. Then
Okay.
we'll go on, fly around Derbyshire, look at the Derbyshire Dales. A few features there.
That's good.
Charlie Kilo, crossing 24.
So I'll just do final checks as we come along here. That's good. And your straps are all tight?
Yeah, everything's about as tight as needs to be, I think.
There we are, we're just checking the final
Sure.
free movement. That's good.
Golf Charlie Kilo, lining up, 24.
So we'll just turn straight around and go for it. Just setting the trim ready for takeoff.
Netherthorpe Radio Golf Charlie Delta Lima Kilo, Sky Ranger inbound to you from the north, 8 miles to run for airfield information.
Aircraft calling Netherthorpe, do you have a PPR number please?
PPR number 2.
Roger, we are using runway 24 with a left hand circuit and a QFA 1013.
1013, 24 left hand, thank you.
So it didn't take a great deal of runway to get off, did we?
Yeah. Absolutely superb.
Somebody's got a bonfire.
Certainly smell it.
Yeah. So at the moment the nose of the aeroplane is fairly high in relation to the horizon because we're climbing. When we get to the top of the climb we'll ease forwards on the controls and the nose will come down more level with the horizon.
Sure. Very little wind today.
It's not very strong, no. Yeah, last week it was very windy. So we're going to turn slightly to the right. What we're going to do is head for the sort of south of Sheffield and we'll make our way around the southern edge of Sheffield to the Derbyshire Dales.
Okay.
I'm just going to get the weather from Doncaster.
Runway 02 for departure subject. Inbound traffic. Surface wind variable 5 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers or more. Fuel 3,000 feet. Temperature +21. Dew point +7. QNH 1020. VILS
So it's 21 degrees on the ground at Doncaster.
Well, that makes a change.
Yep. So if you'd like to follow me through on the controls, just finger and thumb, Chris.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is ease forwards on the controls.
Yep.
Bring the nose down level with the horizon.
Okay.
And you notice at the moment it's higher than the horizon.
Yep.
What I want you to do is feel the very small movement I make as I bring the nose down, and just watch where the horizon is in relation to the front of the aeroplane. So I'm
Okay.
easing forwards now on the controls. Tiny movement you notice.
Okay.
Nose comes down. I'm just going to check it there. And there we are, we've now got the aeroplane in level flight.
Okay.
So the aeroplane now is flying level. And what I'm going to do is show you how we make the aeroplane climb or descend. So just follow me through lightly with a finger and thumb.
Okay.
Gosh, the M1's a bit clogged up. Just crossing the M1 at the moment. The northbound looks very busy.
Flood them up here.
So to make the aeroplane climb again, I gently ease back on the controls like that. Tiny movement you notice.
Okay.
And there's the aeroplane nose above the horizon. Now to put it back level flight, I ease forwards gently, just check there, and that's the aeroplane in level flight.
Okay.
And if I want the aeroplane to descend, I just gently ease forwards again. Tiny movements you notice, check
Yes.
there.
Yep.
That's the nose, as you can see, well below the horizon.
Yes.
The aeroplane is descending. So I'll put it back into level flight. That's the aeroplane in level flight. What I'm going to do is give you control and get you to hold the aeroplane level. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, you have control.
Okay.
That's good. So just hold the aeroplane level for a moment or two. And then when you're happy with that, gently ease back on the controls and get the nose of the aeroplane just above the horizon. That's good, so gently ease back and get the nose just above the horizon.
Obstacle Golf vacated runway 24.
Yeah, ease back on the control column, bring it towards you until you've got the nose just above the horizon. I'll show you the attitude I'm looking for. You've got it in level flight, that's good.
Right.
So what we're looking for is to just ease back and get the nose there.
Right.
Okay, that's aeroplane climbing.
Okay.
And now I'll put it back to level flight, which is there.
Right.
You have control, and now you can gently ease forwards on the controls and get the nose just below the horizon and have the aeroplane descending. That's good. And then back to level flight.
Obstacle Golf matches the apron.
So that's how we make the aeroplane fly level, or climb, or descend.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do next, Chris, is show you how we turn the aeroplane,
Right.
and then you can put the two together.
Okay.
So you relax, I have control,
Okay.
but still follow me through with a finger and thumb lightly so you can feel the movements I make.
Right.
Now what I'm going to do is show you a turn, and I'll talk you through the turn. So first of all I'm going to show you a turn to the right.
Okay.
So to turn the aeroplane to the right, I move the controls to the right and hold them there.
Yep.
You'll see the wings rolling to the right.
Yep.
When they get to that sort of angle, I centralise the controls.
Yep.
That stops the wings rolling any further, but they don't go back level, they just stay at that angle.
Sure.
And you'll notice the aeroplane's turning.
Yep.
It will always turn towards the
Kilo
lower
downwind
wing.
24 left.
So, to stop the turn, I have to make the wings level, so I move the controls to the right and left, hold them there until the wings are level, and then centralise the controls.
Okay.
And hey presto, we're flying in a straight line in a different direction. I'll do the same thing to the left, so to turn to the left, I move the controls to the left and hold them there. Wings roll. When they get to about 30 degrees, I centralise the controls to stop them rolling anymore. Aeroplane turns towards the lower wing, all the time I'm keeping the nose pointing at the horizon. And to stop the turn, I have to roll the wings level, so move the controls to the right, hold them there until the wings are level, then centralise the controls.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So you're following me through, you have control,
Okay.
and you can have a go to turn. Now you can turn to the right or the left, the choice is yours. That's good. That's good. Then roll the wings level. That's it, and hey presto, you're flying in a straight line again. So try turn to the left now. That's good. And then roll wings level. That's excellent.
Okay.
So what you've learned to do is to make the aeroplane fly level, climb, descend,
Yeah.
turn to the left, turn to the right, go in any direction. So in theory now you could fly this aeroplane from one end of the country to the other.
In theory.
So you carry on flying for a little bit. As we get near the hills it will get more turbulent and I'll take control.
Okay.
But you carry on for a little while. Just raise the nose a little bit, we're losing height. That's good. So does the aeroplane feel how you imagined it would feel?
Pretty well, exactly. Actually, yeah. Just a little bit more twitchy. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's quite sensitive.
Yeah.
It's like an animal. You don't want to startle it.
No. No. Yeah. I can imagine it can be difficult to fly for several hours. Tiring, in other words.
Yeah, can be.
Particularly in bad weather.
Yes, in bad weather or when it's turbulent, it's not very
Yeah.
nice. It's not too bad today because it's a nice smooth day. But when it gets very, very rough, then
Yeah.
it can be quite tiring.
Do you want to keep it going in a steady climb, or?
Yes, because we lost quite a bit of height back there, so
Okay.
just very gently build the speed back, the
Yeah.
height back up.
All right.
Because at the moment we're lower than the hills, we're going to have to fly over, so
Yep.
so we need to very gently let it rise. There's a Sheffield over on your right wingtip,
All right.
and you can begin to see the hills of Derbyshire appearing ahead. So was this bought for you as a present?
Yeah, a birthday present by my wife and son, actually.
Oh, how super.
Yeah, yeah, it was. Very good of them.
Nobody's ever bought me a Tiger Moth flight for a present.
I had to drop some sort of fairly heavy hints, though.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Well, it's one of those things that you remember for the rest of your life.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I say to people, what did you do on your last unforgettable day?
That's right.
And often people can't remember anything.
Yeah. The only things I remember ever is when it was an aeroplane, strange enough.
Well, there you are.
I used to be a keen parachutist at one time.
Good gracious, that sounds a bit dangerous.
Yeah, it was. I only liked the aeroplanes, didn't like the rest of it.
Yes, I've never wanted to get out of a perfectly good aeroplane.
No, absolutely not. That's when the problems start.
Well, they used to wear parachutes when they were training in these Tiger Moths.
Yes.
I mean, we don't nowadays, but the RAF specification required that the people wore parachutes when they flew them.
Yes.
And in fact, the Tiger Moth, which is a development of the Gypsy Moth, was specially designed so that the person in the front cockpit could get out wearing a parachute. So on the Gypsy Moth, the top wing is further back,
Right.
so it made it harder for people to get out with a parachute on.
Yes. Yeah, like a lot of guys, I used to be in the Air Cadets when I was a kid, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, they used to take us to Wood Vale in Chipmunks, of course.
How super.
And to my great embarrassment, I think the very first time they sat me down with you know, a bucket type parachute, the one
Yep.
that goes in the bucket.
Yes.
It's very awkward to wear when you're out of the aircraft. And it really wasn't me, Gov, but the ripcord got pulled.
Oh dear.
It wasn't me, it really wasn't. It just wasn't set properly. And of course I got the blame, you know. Yeah, big time trouble.
Yes, not a very easy thing to get back in
No,
or to hide.
that's right. Strange enough, the very first parachute jump I did, which was from a Cessna 180, one of the would-be parachutists refused to jump. He just refused. And what the instructor had to do was get him in the back of the aircraft and pull the reserve parachute, ensuring that his arms were wrapped around it. And then when they landed, he could say, oh, the reserve got pulled by accident, and that stops everybody else from refusing to jump, you know. I didn't know about it because it was too noisy, but, you know.
Yeah, I've met one or two people who've, you know, done parachuting, but they always strike me as stuntmen, you know, sort of, rather than anything else.
There are a lot of dangers in it, there's no doubt about it.
Well, it just seems to me to be taking an unnecessary risk.
Yes, indeed.
Unless you really enjoy the experience.
Yes.
Now, if you really enjoy the experience, then that's an acceptable risk.
Yes.
But there's nothing, you know, I have no desire to float down on a parachute, so
Absolutely.
to me it would be you know, an unnecessary risk.
I think I got sort of past the sort of macho stage, you know, and then I realised I didn't have anything to prove anymore. So then the sort of interest waned, you know. Yeah.
I think it's fairly expensive as well, isn't it?
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a couple of close calls, so to speak, you know, mainly in landing.
These sort of paragliders that they use now, which are sort of like development of hang gliders, but operate in very
Yes.
lower wind speeds.
Yes.
I mean, I can see the appeal in those.
Yes.
And it's a whole simpler operation. You're not dependent on an aeroplane and somebody else to take you up, and
Sure.
you know, it's something you can just do on your own, really.
That's right.
I can see the appeal in that. We sometimes see them in the Derbyshire Hills, not very often. So you see the difference in what's happening to the ground now. It's whereas before we were over sort of, you know, the lush pastures. You can see ahead we're going into moorland and bracken as the ground is rising.
I've flown over here from Hucknall in a glider.
Yes.
A friend of mine used to be quite keen, you know.
Great Hucklow.
Yeah.
Yep. Here we go past Camp Hill, the gliding site.
Yeah. Are we okay climb-wise?
Yeah, we don't need to climb any higher. You just get colder if we go higher.
Okay.
We're over 3,500 feet already, so yeah, we'll just keep heading in this direction. So we've left Sheffield behind us now. We're coming into the Derbyshire Hills. See a bit of mist in the hills today.
One of the nicest flights I had in the last 2 years was in New Zealand to Milford Sound. I think it was a Cessna 210, something like that.
Yep.
6-seater, although there was only 4 of us in it, including my daughter's baby. And I felt rather guilty because pilot flies it through the Alps there, well below the peaks. And the small strip, which is on Milford Sound, it's a concrete strip, you have to fly in from the sound, from the water, fly along the runway and into a pass with vertical sides. And then when it widens out, you have to do a sort of very smart 180 and then put it back down on the strip. And yeah, I mean, he'd done it before, but I wasn't quite prepared for it, I must admit. Yeah, it was quite alarming, because all you saw, you know, when he was banking the aircraft into a 180 was a rock face sort of going past.
Yes.
So, yeah. And my daughter's face looking a little worried.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'd done it before, as you say.
Oh yeah, he was a very experienced guy.
Okay, if you'd like to just descend slightly,
Okay.
we'll go and have a look at the dams and turn slightly to the left. There's 3 dams in the Derwent Valley. The top one's Howden, the middle one is Derwent, and then there's Lady Bow at the bottom.
Right.
And it's Derwent Reservoir that the Dambusters practiced over.
Right.
They came out night after night from Scampton
Wow.
at night time in the blackout, and just finding this place at the daytime can take a while.
Absolutely.
I mean, I find it easy now because I've been doing this for years, but
Sure.
at first I used to sometimes struggle to find a place in the daylight.
Yes, I bet you did.
But they found it night after night in the blackout, and then dropped down well below the hills, flew down the valley, down to 60 feet above the water and over the dams, with the high ground both sides. I mean, it really is a remarkable feat.
Absolutely remarkable. Yeah.
Okay, just lower the nose a little bit. We're at 3,600 feet. We need to lose about 1,000 feet. Now we'll probably start picking up some turbulence on the hills in a moment.
Okay.
So I'll just take control.
Okay.
You relax, I have control.
Okay.
And the reservoir in front of you is Howden Reservoir. That's the one with the fork in it, can you see?
Yes.
And Howden Dam is to the left of that reservoir. And you can see the 2 towers on it. It's the same construction as Derwent Dam,
Yes.
but the reservoir is obviously too short to practice on. So they came in over that reservoir, over that dam, and then the reservoir you can see opening up on your left, the longer one, is Derwent Reservoir, and that's the one the Dambusters practiced on. And if you look at the Dambusters film next time it's on TV, you'll see them fly over the Howden Dam, drop down just over the water in Derwent, and then fly towards the dam at the far end, which you can see now, and you can just see the towers coming into view.
Yeah, right.
So we'll fly down towards that. And Howden Dam's just passing on our right. Now I think that's overflowing at the moment because it's so full, so you'll probably see, if I turn slightly to the right, you'll probably see the water coming over the dam wall.
Sure, yeah.
So this is the Derwent Reservoir. Now if you look to your left, you'll see we're below the hills already at this altitude, but they went down to, we're 1,000 feet above the water at the moment, they went down to 60 feet above it.
In the dark.
In the dark.
Watching 2 little lights.
Yes, I mean, it's quite a remarkable feat. It's quite humbling just to, you know, fly over here and just imagine what it was like for them night after night. And then, of course, when they went to Germany, people were shooting at them as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you used the right expression, humbling, yeah.
So there's quite a few people parked at the side of the dam there. Lots of people come out to see the dam. There's a Dambusters Museum in that right-hand tower, but it's only open Sunday afternoons and bank holiday afternoons.
Yeah, I've been up there a few times myself, you know.
So there's the dam. I'm going to go just past it and then turn to the right, and then we can, you get a good view of the dam.
Yeah.
and also you better look up the valley. That's Lady Bower ahead.
Yes.
So we'll turn to the right here.
Yeah, I've walked some of these ridges in the past, just behind us.
So that's the dam and the reservoir.
Yeah, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Looking up towards Howden. These hills are beautiful, aren't they?
Aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, even places like New Zealand just don't cut it, you know, this is about as good as you get for me, you know.
Well, this is Snake Pass down on our right, if you look.
That's right.
Going up.
Yeah.
And between Bleaklow and Kinder up to over the hills to Glossop. And this is the side of Lady Bower on your left. What we'll do is go over into this next dale, which is Edale.
All right.
And we'll fly up Edale and have a look at the beginning of the Pennine Way, because on the right are the beginning of the Pennines.
My son in the wheelchair, he's actually walked the Pennine Way twice.
Has he? Oh,
Yes.
right. Well, we'll see the pub where
Yeah.
it starts.
The Nag's Head. Yeah, he had a serious, obviously a serious, it was a sailing accident. Broke his neck.
That's bad luck.
Was bad luck. But he's still sailing now.
Well, he ought to take up flying because, you know, the Disabled Flying Association, I'm one of their instructors, and we've got a lot of paraplegics who fly aeroplanes.
Yeah, I told him all about it. He didn't take it, you know, he didn't seem to follow it through, but, you know.
Well, it's got to grab you. If it, you know,
Yeah,
some people love flying, others don't. It doesn't do anything for them.
sure.
And there's no point trying to do something for the sake of it if it doesn't.
Well, absolutely.
If it isn't something that grabs you, but if it does grab you, it's certainly, you know,
Absolutely.
something that's quite possible to do.
Yes.
So Edale is the village down on the right. It's the last group of houses on the right. And the Pennine Way is this side valley over on the right. You can see see the footpath going up.
Yes.
And you'll see the pub in a moment with the white windows on the front. Yeah, so down in the village on the right, the building that sort of stands to the car park in front of it, that's the pub with the white.
Yeah, that's called Grind's Book on the right.
Yep.
Goes up to the plateau there.
Of course, Edale's a blind valley, so the railway line just goes into a tunnel at the far end.
Sure.
So what we'll do is go have a look at map tour.
A friend of mine, his brother had a Cessna 180 and fortunately crashed it just underneath us in very bad weather.
Yep.
And the wind just pushed him down. And they got away with it, both of them. And they both walked into the Nag's Head and ordered a drink.
Good idea.
Yeah. Said, could I use your phone, please?
So on the left is map tour.
Wow. Fantastic.
See the Iron Age earthworks all the way around
That's
it.
right. I've stood where those people are standing there.
Yeah, you can feel the lift off that ridge.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you've got Winnett's Pass at 10 o'clock. We'll fly around the front and you'll see why they call it the Shivering Mountain with all the shale slipping away.
Yeah.
And you get a good view of the road that's collapsed as well. So there's the Shivering Mountain and the collapsed road beneath us.
Don't they do some hang gliding just along this ridge?
Yeah, they do hang gliding, paragliding.
Yeah.
Not very often. I mean, they think they do it often, but I should think only one time in 20 when we come over and they've got anything going on. Speedwell cabin on your right.
Oh yeah.
Blue John Cavern, Tree Cliff Cavern on the right wingtip, and that's Castleton obviously directly ahead. And then you're looking towards the Hope Valley, down towards Grindleford. What we'll do is fly over this quarry, which is very, very impressive from the air. It's difficult to get an idea of the scale of this quarry. When you think of the number of motorways they've built out of that limestone. So we're getting away from the hills now. You see the Pennines start very abruptly there.
Sure.
Now we're just over rolling moorland, so it should be a bit less turbulent here. Now we're away from the hills. If you'd like to have another go on the controls.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, do you want to follow me through, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, you have control.
Okay, thank you.
And then on the left-hand side of the valley, in our 10 o'clock position, you've got Camp Hill gliding site.
All right.
See the windsock there.
Yeah.
So we'll head south towards Tideswell, then we're going to have a look at Monsaldale.
Yeah, I was fortunate to fly in a Shackleton long time ago, and that was at night, so yeah, I can quite imagine, you know, the sort of risk those guys were taking trying to, you know, get 60 foot above the water on that dam.
Yeah. It's quite something. It's amazing they didn't lose any aeroplanes practicing when you look at where they were practicing and how they were doing it.
Absolutely.
They must have been very good. So the village of Tideswell's coming up on our right now. See some more of the dales in front of us.
Yeah, it's much more gentle here.
Yep, it is. It's just rolling countryside, whereas before we were looking at, you know, quite serious hills.
Do you want me to keep the height just about there?
Oh, you can do, yes.
Yeah.
Take it a little bit lower if you want.
Okay.
But keep it above 2,000 for now. So we're at 2,500 at the moment. So Monsaldale is the dale that's on our left, and then it sweeps round to the right. We'll have a look at the railway viaduct. And then we'll drop down and have a look at Ashford in the Water and Bakewell.
Certainly a grand tour.
It's amazing what you can do in 60 minutes in a Tiger Moth.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, if you plot it out on the map and then try and drive around it,
Oh god, yeah.
you know, I think you'd find it would take you all day.
Yeah.
Okay, if you turn to the left gently, this is Monsaldale on our left. You see the river and the waterfall. And you can see the railway viaduct just coming into view with the Monsell Head Hotel on the top of the hill.
Yeah, my wife and I have a narrow boat. We're used to sort of getting nowhere fast.
Yeah.
4 miles an hour if you're very lucky.
Yeah, what do they call it? 4 lock miles an hour or something.
Something like that, yeah. And the brakes are terrible on them.
So if you just turn to the right a little bit. And this village on our left is Ashford in the water. You'll see the river split there and go into a couple of bridges. It's all quite pretty and quaint. Although with the rain we've had, I think a place called Ashford in the water is possibly the place to live.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you've got the town of Bakewell now in our 11 o'clock. Famous for its Bakewell puddings. And you can see they're getting ready for the Bakewell show. Indeed, it looks as if it may have started.
I've lost a bit of height there. Do you want me to take it back up to...
No, this will do fine because we're heading for lower ground at the moment, so there's no great problem. Now the show can't have started because there's no cars parked anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Obviously it's just the people getting it ready, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot more smaller tents and caravans appeared even since this morning, so...
Yeah.
So we've got the A6 down below us now. If we turn slightly to the right, so you keep the A6 in sight, we're going to have a look at Haddon Hall.
Is that the A6 to the right?
No, to the left.
Oh, sorry.
We're on the right of the A6.
Sorry, beg your pardon.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you can see Haddon Hall now on your left.
Oh, yeah.
You see the river kink around. It does a sort of double bend in the grounds of Haddon Hall.
Yeah, they've got a lot of lead on the roof.
You have, haven't they? And then the town you can see, or the village you see at the end of this bit of the A6 is of course Roseley. And we're coming back towards the Derwent Valley, but this time we're coming back from the west. And if you look to the right, you can see the Derwent Valley going down through Darleydale, and it goes down then to Matlock and of course eventually Derby.
Right.
So what we'll do is we'll turn to the left here and go and have a look at Chatsworth House.
Okay.
So if you'd like to turn to the left. It's a lovely warm day.
Fantastic.
Yes. This has been the best day we've had all season.
Yeah.
You know,
certainly the best day for what, 2 months?
Well, longer than
Really?
that, yeah.
Really?
See your Chatsworth ahead now.
Yep.
So we're coming into the Chatsworth estate. The best way to see Chatsworth is not to fly directly over it, but to sort of keep over to the left, so you've got, you know, a good sight of it. If you fly right over it, you lose sight of it under the aeroplane.
Yeah, I've covered the RAC rally a couple of times there. It's about the only time I seem to have been. I should go one day and just have a walk around.
There's a lot of cars in the car park today. You can see the fountain and the waterfall.
Yeah.
You see Froggatt Edge ahead of you.
Right.
There's a whole series of edges along the right-hand side of the Derwent Valley.
Right.
Froggatt Edge, Stanage Edge, Millstone Edge. And then if we turn to the right, we'll see Chesterfield. It's good, roll the wings level about that.
Yeah, we were catching the wind a little there.
Just beautiful, the English countryside, isn't it?
Nothing better, absolutely nothing better. Yeah, you tend to take the patchwork quilt for sort of granted, but you know, it's, yeah, you don't see it all that often.
Well, the thing is, you go to other countries, and whereas England's very green, okay, it's a bit yellow at the moment because of the harvest, but
yeah,
England tends to always be green, whereas fly over other countries, it's brown or grey,
right.
you know, it's particularly America.
That's right. Strange enough, I did a job in Bosnia, would you believe, and it surprised me because, you know, it's very agricultural based, and it was not too dissimilar. You know, the patchwork quilt
Very similar, was
from
it?
the air. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Sorry.
Just turn to the left a little bit.
Okay.
We don't want to go over the town this altitude because we
No.
need to always be within range of fields
Okay.
that we can glide to if we lose the engine.
Sure, absolutely.
That's good. That's fine. So coming up to the A61, the dual carriageway between Sheffield and Chesterfield. So we come a little bit to the right again now.
Okay. Is that far enough?
Yeah, that's fine. And you'll see the M1 again shortly. Gosh, it looks like they've got a big queue on the M1 today. Going north.
Yeah.
It's always stationary, isn't it?
So what's causing that?
Yeah, it's just chocker, isn't it?
Yeah. So are we keep heading towards the cooling towers?
Well, we're going to turn slightly to the right in a minute.
Right.
Yeah. We'll just have a quick look at Bolsover Castle as we go back.
Okay.
It's over on the right. Just turn to the right. Have a quick look at that.
Still want to go right?
No, this is fine.
Okay.
So you can see Bolsover Castle down on the hill there. At 1 o'clock. Just see where the road goes straight and turns to the left.
Sorry, yeah.
And then straight ahead, that's Bolsover Castle.
Right.
So if you want to swing it around to the left. Yes, it's all ripened in the last few days, these fields.
Yeah.
Just when the rain stopped. And how much they'll be able to harvest, I'm not sure. Now, if you look just in front of the left wingtip, you see a wood.
Yeah.
Middle distance. You'd like to turn towards that.
Doing it with you in the plane.
Suggesting what?
That you're a fat man. No, joking.
Netherthorpe radio, Golf Papa Victor's approaching the overhead, 2,000 feet to dead side descent.
Golf Papa Victor, Roger, 24 left hand, news, and make your FEs 1013.
24 left hand, 1013. Golf Papa Victor.
Yeah, the pressure's slowly dropping. It's dropped 2 millibars during the day.
Right.
Fine, it's the highest pressure we've had for months, so can't be too bad.
Is the height okay at this point?
Yes, not too bad. Just keep the wings level, keep it flying in this direction.
Golf 2, Golf, line up departure runway 24 and rain in circuit.
So the power stations you can see over 2 o'clock, they're on the River Trent.
Oh, right.
They're about 20 miles away, so it's a very clear day.
Yes.
Beyond those is Lincolnshire,
Right.
which is why it's so flat over there.
Yes.
So you'll hear other voices on the radio now because we're coming close to the aerodrome.
Sure.
That's Worksop at 1 o'clock. You can see the town there. And the aerodrome is directly on the nose, about 3 miles away. So have you got the airfield in sight? Just to the left of us. Now about 5 fields ahead of us.
Sorry. No.
Okay. You relax, I have control.
Okay.
It's just down on our left. About 3 fields in front
Oh,
of us.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking too far ahead.
Yeah. one aircraft over there descending dead side, 11 o'clock low. Just over that village at the moment. Assuming they're descending anyway. Doesn't seem to be descending. I don't quite know what it's doing. It appears to be climbing again now. So what we're going to do is descend just to the north of the aerodrome.
Golf Charlie Kilo, descending dead side.
We're descending in
Golf
left
Charlie
turn.
Kilo, Golf Papa Victor is also descending dead side, currently at 1200 feet.
Roger, we're just passing 1,500, we've got no contact.
Are you the Moth?
Hey, front.
Golf 2, Golf, downwind, runway 24.
So there's one in front of us, 11 o'clock, same altitude.
Golf Papa Victor is joining crosswind to 24. Contact them off ahead.
So we've got 3 left turns to do. Then we'll be lined up with the runway for our final approach.
Golf Charlie Kilo, downwind.
So there's one aircraft ahead of us there, can you see?
Yep.
Same altitude. What I'd like you to do now, Chris, is just check your straps are tight for me.
Everything seems to be okay.
That's good. Now as I come into land, I'll need larger movements on the controls because the aeroplane will be going slower. So what I'd like you to do is keep your hands and feet well clear of the controls.
Netherthorpe radio, Golf Papa Victor is also downwind. Contact them off ahead.
So there's one ahead.
Golf 2, Golf final, runway 24.
There's the one just turning on the final approach. And we're just going to turn on to final approach now. So we've got this last left turn to do. And we'll roll the wings level.
Golf Charlie Kilo, final.
Golf 2, Golf vacated, runway 24.
So hands and feet well clear of the controls.
Okay.
Netherthorpe radio, it's helicopter Golf Kilo India Delta Golf.
Golf 2, Golf taxing to hold, runway 24.
Netherthorpe radio, Golf Papa Victor, final for 24. Contact them off.
To the west of you this time at 1,200 feet, pass to the over.
Vacated, Charlie Kilo.
So we'll just taxi back onto the pumps.
Right, thanks for that. Enjoyed that immensely. Superb.
That's okay. So
Golf Papa Victor's cleared left.
there you are. Well done.
Okay,
Well
thank you.
done. Thank you for coming.
That was perfect.
Golf,
Couldn't be better.
Delta.